Mason Young here. Today I've got a song by Jim Ellis. It's a Christmas song. So I heard the stereo track that Jim had mixed, and it's a very good representation of the song. But I said, I think I can add a little bit to it. So today that's what I'm going to do. He sent me a workflow, which basically is labeling all the stems, of course, putting in the order that I like things. Of course, for me, it's kick, snare, all your drums, followed by bass, guitars, keys, and vocals at the very end of my chain. I always have at least 2 reverbs running, usually 2 delays running on aux sends, and usually a chorus as well. Just a little bit of depth on the chorus, not a lot. And then everything is bussed in groups, so drums to a group, bass to a group, acoustic guitars to a group, electric guitars to a group. From there, of course, it goes to my main outs, where I use the VBC compressor. That seems to work really well for me, as I've said many times in videos. It helps glue everything together, and I'm top down. I always mix with that on first. All right, so I'm going to do a quick walk through the mix. Just quick things, a few things that I did. Now, these were stems again. They were recorded by Jim. Some come in stereo, some stuff that I wouldn't normally want in stereo, so I split it up. I'm just going to walk all the way through the mix. Kick drum is a single track. I fattened it up, gave it a little more spike so it sits out there. 2 snares, and they're sitting virtually on top of each other. Just slightly to the left of the mix because I got Jim's vocal center, and toms treated just as regular toms. They're fine. Hi-hat added a little bit of sparkle to them, but mostly what I did is I added a little bit of room reverb, so you get a little bit of whacking back and forth a little bit. That's always nice. Bass was doubled up, so the bass track one was reamped through tube amp. The other side is direct. Same thing. I'm still using the VMR from Slate as far as controlling everything for my EQ and my compression and all that good stuff. Guitars. The acoustic guitars, I doubled them up and I panned them hard left, hard right, and I put them slightly out of time by about 10 milliseconds. Right side is slightly ahead of the other side by 10 milliseconds. Lead guitar, I softened it a little bit, and I threw a little bit of time delay on it, a little ping-ponging delay, so it's a little fatter, a little warmer. And the electric guitars, I doubled them up, and I also reamped them through just a straight-up tube amp. Just give them a little bit more organic sound. Now they sound like they went through a tube amp, which, of course, that's what the model is supposed to do. On the keys, we got 3 key tracks. This one here is kind of a Rhodesy type sound. Same thing, a little bit of compression, a little bit of sparkle on them. Took a little bit of bottom away because I don't want it in the way of the bass. There's a bell sound that is really cool. Lots of sparkle, took away the bottom. And on this piano track, what I did with that piano track was I actually added a little bit of tube saturation, almost made it sound dirty, but in the mix it pokes through better. Then we have vocals. Lead vocal, now there's a little bit of reverb on the track for the vocals, which is a bit problematic. And I would have probably used a different microphone, but nevertheless is what we had to start with, so it's fine. So I took the lead vocals and left them in the middle, a little bit of pitch correction on them. My favorite new plugin called Fresh Air from Slate, which adds a whole bunch of high-end harmonics and gives a lots of top palette, lots of air. It's named Fresh Air. There's a vocal 2, which is a doubling of the main vocal line. Awesome track. I took that one, doubled it, panned it, partially left, partially right, did the same thing. I pushed one track 10 milliseconds fast, one track 10 milliseconds slow, so now the vocals are fatter. You can't hear it, of course, but it makes some patter. The background vocals, a little bit of pitch correction, and same thing, running the VMR. So I have some compression, I have some EQ control, of course. Everything bussed through a nice little mix bus, and then back up through my main rack. It is a much larger track now. I'm actually very pleased with it, and it's I believe Jim will be very happy with it as well. I'll play the whole track.
This year it seems so very long. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. But now it's time to sing a different song, because it's Christmas, the time of year that brings us joy, pleasing every girl and every boy. Spirits soaring, hearts are filled with joy, because it's Christmas. It only comes round once a year, filling every heart with cheer. That's why I'm so glad it's Christmas. I don't want the troubles of the year, or the anxiety and fear, to overshadow all the cheer. Not when it's Christmas. There's only one time of the year that makes me smile from ear to ear. I'll shout it loud for all to hear. Hey, it's Christmas. It only comes round once a year, filling every heart with cheer. That's why I'm so glad it's Christmas. I'm so glad it's Christmas. It seemed like we would never make it here, with everything that's happened throughout this crazy year.